You asked. Miss 30 Under 30. Can you tell us a little bit about your contribution to Wild Tongues Can't Be Tamed? Feels like that might be a little bit of an entry point, maybe to your own book.
Let's claim that. Let's claim that. I definitely, absolutely. I've had,
speaking to an existence.
Speaking to
existence.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I've had conversations to where I feel like that is definitely, we're very close to that. Well, speaking of Black creatives, Black folk, just making content. So how Wild Tongues Can't Be Tamed came to be was I was actually and still working on a young adult fiction piece, or not even a piece, a book. And I'm in the Bronx. And so the creator of the Bronx Book Festival, who's also the creator of the Bronx's Reading, Cericia, she does this festival. And so I remember having a conversation with her because it's all about network and community, right? So I had actually interviewed her, I want to say months before, for Oprah Daily. And so we kept in contact, and, I mentioned this to her, and she was like, come to the festival because, there's going to be editors there. There's going to be people that you can network with. So I was like, oh, bet, like, I'm gonna pull up. So I did. And I met with some really great people, but I'm all about timing. And even though I've been working on this book for far too long, well, not really far too long, right? Because we just said about timing, but I think that was really like my entry point. And so essentially months after, she mentioned to me that she was putting together an anthology. And she asked me if I was interested. And I was like, absolutely, I'm interested. So we began a conversation around that. And what year was that? Was that 20? I have no concept of time because of the pandemic. So I feel like this was like end of 2019, early 2020. So we had those conversations, and lo and behold, it all happened. So there was a deal with Flatiron Books. She had several, writers of Latin American descent involved. And it really was a blessing, like to have my work, in the same text as Evie Zavoy, Elizabeth Acevedo, like Lillian Rivera, like people whose work that I have read and been like, oh, this is so dope. And, all of that, to be one of those essays, is really great. And so it came out at the end of last year, and, definitely still lots of conversations happening around it. But yeah, it was really a great opportunity. I'm forever grateful to Cericia for that opportunity. And definitely, I feel like there will be more.
What is like your writing process? You just get up, open the computer, start typing, or is it like?
It's definitely that easy, bro.
Time to write now.
That's it.
Definitely that easy, bro. Anybody can write.
Yeah, my writing process is very. I don't want to call it chaotic, but
like Zodiac.
It's I don't know. I don't know. Wait, you said Zodiac?
Yeah, map.
Yeah.
Oh.
You trying to connect the different.
The Zach Galifianakis GIF with all the numbers.
Oh, okay. I mean, it could be mentally like that. So what I do is, and this is something I'm big on, like I usually, because the level, what I'm writing about oftentimes to me is so serious that like I will say a prayer, like, please use me.
Please make this
like
fire.
Right, to make, but I have to get out of like saying that it's fire, because sometimes that can really be crippling as a writer, thinking about what people are going to think about your work. I had to really remove that from my writing process, because sometimes I'll be like, oh my gosh, like you, and this is where I connected to social media. Writing 10, 15, 20 years ago, people weren't thinking about what the reaction was going to be. Maybe 10 years ago, but like 20, 30 years ago, writers were not thinking about what is going to be the reaction to my piece if it goes viral, if, you know, people see it on these platforms. Writers get serious mail, like death threats, all of that, because I have received some wild emails from some stuff that I've written, and I'm like, you have too much time. Yes. I have gotten, people have said so much, first of all, things that they would never say to your face, which is so interesting to me. It's like, you really trying it, because if I saw you, it would be different. But anywho, that's a side note. That is a side note.
That's the Bronx coming out.
That Bronx came out quick, real quick.
She got Tim somewhere.
Yeah, she's wearing Tim's now. She's wearing Tim's now.
No, I'm not. If I was wearing Tim's right now,
she's gonna put a Yankee cap on as soon as she's done.
You know, I do have a Yankee. I was gonna say, but not on my, not on my head right now.
Everyone from the Bronx has.
I mean, we have to though. Like, are y'all Mets fans or something?
No,
I'm a winner. I like to win.
I'm from Jersey.
So what are you saying though? Wait, so you're a Yankees fan?
I'm a winner, yeah. So I'm a Yankees fan.
Oh, okay. I was
like
just
you.
making sure.
Yo, stop lying, bro.
Yo, he's Kevin.
He doesn't watch sports. He doesn't care.
I don't watch sports, but I'm a fan of winning. And I also lived in the Bronx for like a few years, I'm definitely a fan of winning.
Aren't the Mets and the Yankees like killing it this season?
Yeah, they're both really good.
Yeah,
of course New York is killing it.
Yankees have the best record in the league right now.
Yo, a Subway Series World Series like we had in 2000, that would be ridiculous.
That'd be litty.
Remember that? Like, I remember
that was crazy.
I remember that.
I was in middle school. That was nuts.
I was too.
Yeah. And we used to, like, at least in our school, like, if the Yankees won, we used to get like a dress down day, so you could wear like your gear. Yeah, so of course everybody was hyped for that. But yeah, that's an aside. But back to the writing process. I cannot write in too many different parts. Like, I'm one of those people too that I have to sit down. Like, I'm gonna be on the couch for like several hours trying to like knock out a piece. Because my work is journalistic, there's many different pieces to it. So like, that means at that point, I've already done all of my interviews. I'm old school with this. So I really prefer to do like phone conversations, Zoom, conversations so that I can record it and have it transcribed. I remember when I used to transcribe my own interviews. Thankfully now I use a tool. I highlight what I want to include. I've done my research, and so I sit down, and that's when I like just, pump out the piece essentially. But that can take a while. Like, sometimes, that's like, that I could do it in. I feel like, not that I'm a slow writer, but I don't rush myself. I'm not one of those people like, because I don't work for like breaking news. I'll just like sit there and like give myself time to like write. Sometimes I self-edit at the same time. I know some writers are like, don't do that, just put everything out there. I don't like doing that. Like, if the sentence sounds janky, it's time for me to edit it before I like go on with the next paragraph. So, I would say it's pretty in-depth in that sense, but it works for me. And sometimes, like now, I've been able to be like, all right, Janel, write 800 words today. And then tomorrow you write the remaining 500 words or something like that. So sometimes that works for me. But I really, when I break it up, I think about the piece. Like, I literally am like, oh my gosh, tomorrow I need to write the rest of it. And I need to include this. And, sometimes I might be like making something and I'm like, oh snap, now I gotta like run to my computer like and jot it down before it leaves my mind. The way ideas come, at least to me, and I feel like creatives, again, like sometimes it's really at the most ridiculous times and places where it's like, oh no, I got to get back to like jotting it on my, phone or like on my computer, because if not, I'm going to like completely forget. And this is I know a fire sentence. So let me like just put this down somewhere.
I remember during a pandemic, I took up screenplay writing because it's something I've always wanted to do. Something for years I wanted to get into. As most of the guys, they know me in college. Before I got into music, before I got into podcasting, before I got into emceeing and DJing and all that stuff that I do now, the first thing I got into entertainment-wise was stand-up comedy. That's what most guys know me for from college. So, I always had dreams to be the next Eddie Murphy and just get into that world of screenplay writing. So during the pandemic, I took Shonda Rhimes' masterclass, and which was life-changing. It absolutely was. And I remember she mentioned a lot of the points that you brought up in terms of one thing that really stood out to me. She said that writing is a muscle. Just like any other muscle, if you're active or you go to the gym, you work out, whether you're an athlete or not. If you call yourself a writer, you should be writing, every day, or at least get into a rhythm of doing it that has become second nature.